You're watching X-Men Omni with Justin and John. And their good friend, Hank. Hell yeah.
It was a rough show last time, gang. I'm not gonna play around. And Chris Claremont, you're wrong. Already one of us is out. And I don't know if it's related to the last week, which was a roller coaster, to be fair. But we're drinking early tonight. It's the end. For those that are unaware, welcome to Omni X-Men. This is the show going issue by issue through Claremont's era of mutantum, because we're doing dumb mutants now. We're doing the new mutants, and we are at the end of an era. Bill Sienkiewicz is saying goodbye to the new mutants as of this evening. This is his final issue, drawing new mutants, and I don't think we're going out on a high note. It's a lower note. We those that watched last time know we were not the biggest fans, and so I'm two-fisting it tonight. We're double dipping tonight. It's gonna be off the rails right off the bat, but we'll see if our guest can help us keep this together. And by us, I mean me and Justin from No Good Comics. I mean, oh wait.
Then he ran his finger. Oh, hey, John. What's going on? You said you needed to talk to me about something?
Yeah, I was hoping you could do me a solid.
Hey, are we live?
Yeah. So Justin is under the weather and and needs you to sub in and read this new issue of New Mutants.
New Mutants? Okay.
Yeah. Not the old ones.
You know what? I don't think I've ever read any of that, but I think I can provide as good an insight as Justin does. So I think I'm good.
I mean, that's definitely accurate. So yeah, first time ever. This is a first on Omni X-Men. We have a substitute teacher in the show.
I feel honored that this honor didn't go to like Lasso or Chet or somebody like that. That they think they're all high and mighty all the time. But you went to the Batman Nightwing guy to get like a co-host. I like this.
I won't say those names weren't on the list.
We can pretend.
But you've been having me read a ton of stuff on your channel, and this felt like a wonderful opportunity to send this thing back around. Yes, the list was 3 names long. It was Chet, it was Ryan Magic Lasso, and it was you. No shame to those other guys. I just knew you're free on Tuesdays.
You know I have no life. Got it.
I'm more aware of your schedule than the other two. But I appreciate you diving in with both feet on this final Sienkiewicz issue tonight.
I mean, I don't know if I dove in, but
you stumbled, that you crawled your way
in the water, and
then
when you made the suggestion that I should read last week's issues and this, because this was part 3, I just said, well, I watched your show, I know what last week's issues were, so.
I mean, the better bet was to watch our episode on double speed, and maybe you save yourself some trauma. All right. But we have one person who can hopefully save this show.
Yes.
We have one gentleman, one YouTube personality who can save this show, save this program, keep it going full steam ahead. Formerly Matt in Clemson, probably still in Clemson, but now known as Impressed Comics.
And John, you might have chosen the wrong person if you want somebody to come in and save this show. That's a lot of buildup. I think you might have the wrong connection.
It's a lot of pressure. I'm definitely
all you
aware
have
of
to do
that.
is be more competent than the two of us. So you got this, mate. So
it's a low bar.
I'm just trying to make sure Justin's not dodging me. It's we had a live show on Sunday we were going to do, and he was out.
He said something about like that he couldn't talk because of something. So, I
don't know where he is. Yeah, he's in the chat there somewhere.
Yeah,
there
he's hanging out in there.
Here he is. So he is there. You can all send him some good wishes to Justin. I hope he gets his voice back. I hope he's feeling better. I know he had to cancel some work engagements as well, which is obviously secondary to Omni X-Men.
Well, yeah.
I told you, John, backstage duct tape.
There it is.
Okay, there we go.
1,000-hour tape, man. It'll hold airplanes together.
I accidentally bumped the desk.
Well, I actually have a desk for the first time ever doing these shows. So this is, I don't usually have a plank of wood in short boxes. So, all right. Well, let's say hello to some friends in the chat, and we're going to get to know Matt a little bit better before we dive into tonight's hopefully superior book. We got White Tiger in the chat. What's going on, Ruben? Has anyone found my voice? I swear it's around here somewhere. I mean, you did reasonably well last time, but there were cue cards. I know there were cue cards involved. You held up some cue cards.
You could have just held up just give him a dry erase board the whole time and just,
Yeah. He'll just comment same in the chat whenever he feels it. Matt is here and he's in the chat, and his link is down below so you can subscribe and find more great content from our friend here. And apparently, how's the pressing business going, Matt?
It's about a 2-month delay right now.
Nice.
So I just put up a new video this afternoon of not the greatest CGC type video that you'd want to have, but informative nonetheless. And it's just how it goes. But
yeah. So if you need books pressed and you have you're looking 2 months out, here's your guy. Make sure you follow that.
If Justin keeps avoiding me, I've got a Hulk 180 of his, an X-Men 94, and a Daredevil #2 of his here. Are almost finished. So
those books belong to John's co-host for this show, man. You can just send those to me.
There it is. Bragging rights.
So, yeah.
Justin says, last week was so bad it knocked me out for a week. I mean, I feel it. I feel that. I've been there. We got Conlon in the comments. Come on, Stevie. He says, happy Tuesday, all. Hope you feel better. I mean, we hope. I mean, I've got an upgrade here. JP's in the seat. This show will be much, unless I can keep it together, it'll be brisker. We'll stay on time.
Oh no, my goal is to be as slow as Justin. Like I'm playing the Justin role tonight. I gotta slow her down every chance I get.
Yeah. We told him it was gonna be Smut and Nightwing, and he was like, I'm signed up. I'm in. You are high and mighty, Lasso, but I understand, I didn't want to, traumatize you with a lot of stuff. I know you're a busy guy. You do a lot of videos. I didn't want to overdo you. We got Candace in the chat. What's going on, Candace? Good to see you. It's more of a guideline than there's a list. This is the only list that anybody really cares about. All the hashtags from all the people, the tally marks, I should say. That's all that really matters. Let's see here. Ooh. Justin is busy in this chat. He is talking and he is dodging you. He says he is dodging you. Jackson Roy Kirk, what's going on, Jackson? Good to see you, sir. No excuses, Justin. Next week I'm on the show. This is right, and I'm very excited to have you on, Candace.
Can't miss episode right there.
Right. Adam is in the chat and he's making stuff up. How's it going? Where was the last place you saw your voice? The last place you heard it. He's recovering from talking so much. He was trying to set a record on his channel, and athletes pay for that. Don't you mess with my Hulk 180. All right. I just want to see if it's a better grade than mine. So that I'm assuming yes, but who knows at this point.
Looks pretty good.
All right, so thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate those of you in the chat. We want to make sure you stick around to the end. We ask trivia questions. I should say I'm asking trivia questions about last week's episode where we talked 2 issues, 29 and 30. And if you get the correct answer, or if you can make Matt laugh, you can get on the list for the big giveaway party that's coming up in the middle of June. So make sure you hang around with us, or at least when you're done eating, come back to us by the time we get to the end of the show, because you can get a little bit of that time with us at the end and get on the list. So let's get to know Matt here a little bit. Matt, would you tell me, do you have a favorite mutant?
I guess I'm probably going to go with Phoenix.
Ooh,
I
good
like
one.
You don't hear that very often.
I like that. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite mutant villain?
It's probably going to be Magneto. I don't think I could get past Magneto as a favorite villain.
were you able to deal with his transition
Well,
to being
now
like
let me
an
take it back.
anti-hero?
1A is going to be 1A would be Sinister, Mr. Sinister.
Ooh,
But,
nice.
Yeah, but Magneto is still outrank him.
Yeah, because Maggie's one of those guys that's like, is he your hero? Is he your villain? Is he this anti-villain? Are you okay with him being somewhat on the good guy's side from time to time?
Honestly, as long as he's in the book, I'm okay. I don't care. As long as the story is good, put him wherever.
Because we're entering the trial of Magneto and the like journey of him as leader hero in a bit here, and I'm kind of excited to dive into that. I know that the X-Men 97 did some of that. I think it's going to be an exciting. I'm curious to see what Justin thinks of that journey as we get into it. Look,
Absolutely
man.
not.
Look, we had a rough enough time last week, 62. We don't need to be starting this way. This is not how we do it.
I would not be here. I would not be here. John would
not
still be
in
looking
this-
for co-host.
Jason, he's not in this book. You don't have to worry about
I read.
No trauma. Don't.
If like I turned the page and I'd seen him, I would just closed it and just been like, I'm out.
Hey, John, I didn't think about it, but are we supposed to hold off until Greg gets here? I'm sure he's coming back this week.
I would think so. Yeah.
He's absolutely running late. I don't know. He didn't message me. It's kind of weird. I expected him to be here. I know he was wrapped with attention to read the next issue the second we got off air last week. So I don't know. Okay. Do you have a favorite X-Men artist?
I like everything John Byrne does. I am a John Byrne fan of everything, and it all starts with Wolverine 17. And it goes from there.
And then, because I've only just barely scratched the surface of his Fantastic Four, which is obviously, iconic. Loved Sensational She-Hulk. So yeah, it's hard not to. I feel like he's kind of the one that has to be at the tip of the spear on that topic, right? That's fair. All right. And then, do you have a favorite X-Men team leader?
Oh, do you want to know what it was before I started watching this show, or now?
I want to know how you feel in your heart. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's all good.
So as a kid, I was born in 78. So okay. I was, in high school when the 90s cartoons came out, and I used to like Cyclops. I used to like Professor X. And then now this whole Omni X-Men thing has really changed all of that. So now I sort of turn my nose up when I see those, and peer pressure, I guess. I
don't know if I feel proud of this or not.
Oh, I do. I'm saying my comments in the chat have done their job.
No, I think serious answer. I think I'd love to see Storm leading the charge at all times, personally.
Sure. And there's obviously been a lot of them. There's been runs with Kitty Pryde as a leader that I thought were really entertaining and really interesting. And obviously, I'm a Sam Guthrie fan. I know he can be Cyclops Part 2 for some people, but I've enjoyed some X-Force runs with him in the lead. So yeah, lots of options out there. Lots of good leaders over the years. Yes. This show has soured everything. Look, Adam, I understand there's two sides to that. That's what I'm saying. The Bobby.
Did
I miss anybody else? Justin says, I did all this so that I could answer trivia questions and get my name on the prize wheel. That's fair. Omni X-Men ruined my life. All right, Justin, add that to the list of shirt ideas that we're going through. That's the new one. It's right
my
underneath.
New answer to all trivia questions going forward.
Yeah, it's underneath what happens in the Savage Land stays in the Savage Land. Yeah. All right, so gang, yes, last week we had a 2-part storyline that this is now the finale. So we're going to dive into issue number 31. And here we go. The final issue, as I mentioned earlier, that Bill Sienkiewicz drew on New Mutants. He does continue to do some inking for some later issues, but he is not the primary artist going forward. So this is his swan song. I'm curious what you thought about this cover, Justin, when I said, hey, we're reading issue 31 and you saw this cover, this corner box art. Where were you at?
Well, Justin, myself, as Justin.
Sorry, Jason Justin.
Not one of my favorite of the Sienkiewicz covers. The puppeteer strings, I guess, sort of works, but I just like, I didn't feel like any of them were too. I know he gets abstract, but for me, this whole thing was just a little too abstract, and like the way he went about it, it just kind of, the colors kind of blend and were blah. I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Okay. And then Matt, we also get a new corner box art to go with this fabulous cover. Where are you at on? Actually, I didn't even ask you to begin with. Where are you at with Bill Sienkiewicz's run on New Mutants in general? Like, how do you feel about it as a whole?
Clearly started up here, has quickly fallen below what I can show you on the screen here. The camera can pick up. But my first actually paying attention, I didn't know anything about New Mutants. I knew of them, obviously, but I never had an interest in reading them. And funny, I still need to talk about you. Where do I turn in all my receipts for all these New Mutant books that I've gone and bought in the last year, essentially?
I'll give you Justin's address.
No.
Okay, yeah, I've already got it, so I'll send them to him. But no, when he reached out to me to be on the show, I was like, okay, yeah, great. What issue am I going to get? We're leading up to the Demon Bear storyline at this time. When he reaches out to me, it's like, okay, this is great. And I see this is the cover, and I'm like, oh. But no, it's certainly not my favorite. And the corner box, I think, is even worse than the cover art, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't realize that the matchmaker from Mulan was in X-Men books, so that's kind of cool.
It took me. I bet you
that's a joke for kids out there.
It probably took me a week of having this book sitting here, and I stuck it in the press, whatever, make it look pretty decent, to actually realize there was other people on the front cover other than the main attraction there. Right.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of a mess. There you go. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate you. It is a mess. I do like that he does often have the team like in miniature, like in the front doing, some crazy pose or something. I can enjoy that. That's one of his elements, but this one does fall kind of flat for me, for sure, as Justin is saying as well in the chat. And he is asking for the invoices, so feel free to send them along. And psychologist bills as well. I mean,
yeah, I got some invoices.
Therapy. Right. So yeah, not one of my favorites. And I will say, having read all of it now, I think with an adult eye, maybe it is a mixed bag, this era of Sienkiewicz, and you do tend to have, like to Matt's point, some high highs and some low lows, and it's a shame it didn't go out on such a high. But as you've seen people in the chat mention, this was an era that was really divisive and had a lot of people turning away from the book and saying, like, I'm not reading it, this art is trash. So take that as you will. Lasso is saying it. Bill Lasso was the reason I gave up collecting comics. He was the first to start this style, and so many readers others started copying it, and a huge turnoff started wearing on me again on the reread. So there you go, still having that same impact. All right, well then let's open up this story and get into this Buck Wild ride. First off, we've got Dazzler. So Ryan should be happy, right? There she is. She's dazzling the crowds. Everybody is cheering. She's in the middle of this arena. For those that don't know, we left off with the New Mutants in something of a precarious situation. They were in Los Angeles, but they were a part of this gladiator arena that was being run by this mysterious overlord, this rather obese villain who is manipulating this very wealthy crowd and sort of taking money and bribes and things from them as a result of this crazy gladiator contest that this person has had going for a while. And the end of last issue, several New Mutants were in the arena facing off against this grotesque beast with very skinny legs and very big back that we can now see has some rivets and some elements that aren't necessarily natural. And so Magma, who is also known as Amara, and Roberto, sometimes called Sunspot, they are in the midst of dealing with this creature. Meanwhile, Dazzler is entertaining the audience and seems to be just kind of out of it a little bit. And amidst it all is this person, this master of the games, who is eating entire legs of what I assume is a turkey, with eating the bone and all, being served all kinds of things, and has people fanning this person. It's a very opulent lifestyle that this villain seems to be living. So I'll throw it to JP first. JP, how enthusiastic are you diving right in this in the midst of this fight?
Watched you guys talk about the last 2 issues. These first 3 pages were not like, oh God. Yeah. There's a little bit of like, okay, like it was just weird that like Dazzler's putting on a show, but at the same time, I was like, okay, was that before or after the fight that's happening here? Like, was she the preamble to the fight? Is she doing this while they're having the fight? Then it's who's watching what? I thought that was a little weird, like the way he just set it up here in terms of from a storytelling standpoint. And then I'll be honest, we'll get to the reveal later, but even once the reveal was, this is not a villain that I was very familiar with at all. So like, I didn't know who this person was. And then when we got the reveal, I was like, okay, I still don't know who that person is. So
yeah, I mean, we'll get into the details of the reveal when we get there for sure. Saying, Ryan, it's your girl.
I was like,
and
is it Bob's sister? What's
ugly? Ugly Dazzler is worse than no Dazzler. I mean, sad, just sad. Adam, it might be the Staples Center. It does feel big enough, and up in LA, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Jackson Kirk says he was buying this because of FOMO, but not reading it since Demon Bear. Ouch. I mean, that sounds accurate to a lot of people. Hashtag not my Dazzler. Oh my goodness, a concert during a fight. I mean, everybody gets what they came for, right, Matt? I mean, it seems like everybody's getting something out of this spectacular.
Well, on the first page, on the first splash page underneath the Saturday Night Fight, the very bottom comment box is all bets, are in. The teenagers don't have a chance. So, do we really even need to continue the rest of this issue? I mean, it is clear that the odds are against them. There's no way they're gonna survive.
Yeah, I mean, we can finish the show right here. I think we're all okay with that.
But no,
but you do. No,
what threw me off was jumping into this. Once I did agree to go ahead and get in, I went out, got the book immediately, started reading it, and was lost for 23 pages or however long this book is, trying to, none of this makes any sense. It actually makes a little bit more sense now after last week. So I did get something out of last week.
That's fair. I once went to a fight, and right in the middle of it, a concert broke out.
I've been to the opposite, but I've never.
I've never had that. Yeah,
I've been at a concert and a fight broke out, but I've never had a concert break out of a fight. So
that's a mosh pit, JP. All right. Well, yeah, I'm with you guys. It's definitely like a bit jarring, and this is definitely a story that is in classic Claremont style, built on so many other issues that if you skipped one, missed one, whatever, you could easily be kind of lost in what's going on here. So, maybe Candace, maybe as a musical, it would have served better. I don't know. And maybe that would have added a little something to it. Yeah, we continue on to the next set of pages, and Roberto is now full battle style going at it with this creature that seems to be clearly it's thinking, right? It is having thoughts. And we're starting to realize that this is a suit of some kind and that there's someone inside of it. And as this suit is fighting, its abilities are starting to become known to us. And as a result, some of our characters are starting to feel like maybe I know what's going on. Like my fist goes through this thing and it's starting to hover in midair when Magma deletes the ground underneath it with her abilities. They're starting to feel like, do we know what this thing is? And meanwhile, there are several things happening psychically. Yeah. The villainous master of the games is manipulating this person inside of the mech suit, and they are fighting back telepathically. This is all happening in the power of the mind. And this individual inside the suit has been trained on how by Professor Xavier how to fight back and block out their this malintention to their mind. But the woman, the master of the games, is fighting just as strong. And so there's this push and this pull. And in the midst of all of this, the robot grabs Roberto and has the chance to just crush him with its fists. And seems to be finally like pushing back, despite the fact that the master of the games is screaming, kill him, kill him. What are your thoughts here, Matt? Were you able to kind of piece together what the hints were as far as who was in the suit there?
Yeah, it jumped out to me pretty, I won't say quickly, but it didn't take long to figure out. Yeah, I think that's who's going to be in there.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think about this sort of showdown? We're getting some action here. The previous issues were kind of light on action. We're kind of getting some here.
Yeah, it honestly, it feels like a different, I don't know, it feels like a different part than the last two books did.
Sure.
There's instantly, there's something to follow, and I don't want to say too much bad about the first two or the last two, but seems to be a story here for me to grasp onto, and I didn't have that in the last couple of issues.
Yeah, I can agree with you. This one definitely feels like it has more focus, it has more direction, it has more intention going on here. I'm curious, just JP, what you thought of artwork as far as what we're getting here, because it does seem to be obviously grotesque, as only Bill Sienkiewicz can supply.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the visuals here?
So, like the robot monster thing, and I get Bill's style, and generally I actually enjoy Bill's style a lot, quite a bit. Unlike last year we were talking about that he doesn't. I did not enjoy this particular monster. It just, I don't know, but it was just weird in a way that didn't work for me. It was, the arm, one arm was bigger than the other, and it just the little bitty legs, and I don't know, it just looked. And then depending on which angle you saw it from, the head is ginormous, or it's normal. You see the top panel there, and the head looks it's not that big, and he's got these big giant arms. And then you see you go down, and then the head's bigger than the whole rest of the body almost. And it's just there was an inconsistency, I felt even across the panels, that made
100%.
It not work as well as it could have. Even being a grotesque monster, it needs to be a little bit more consistent, I thought. For it to work.
No, I totally agree. And I think that that the monsters and ultimately even the villain master of the games are very kind of inconsistent in some of the art styles. I do like Roberto, especially in this panel right next to you, JP. Yeah. I think it's a hard person to draw when you can't create depth with outlining, right? And I thought they did a really great job with that. We got some comments in the chat about gambling, sports gambling specifically. Kenny Rogers apparently, country music gambling. I know that Justin had money on this game.
Oh, great.
Definitely. What's up? Kenneth Bird is in the chat. And my friend John from Cali Comics. What's going on, John? Good to see you, my friend. Bill Sienkiewicz, the comic guy. Oh, is that Bill Nye the Science Guy? I get it. Yeah. I thought it was Strong Guy. I mean, he was kind of grotesque in the issue that we saw. He has that great bit of hair on the top of his head, though. I preferred the Frankie monster that changed colors from issue 1 than last week. I get it, Candace. All right, well, let's continue along here because, yes, the reveal is that it was Kitty Pryde, who we had seen in the last issue get captured, stuck inside of this creature. And she finally overcomes the power of this telepath and then stops using this robotic creature and then jumps out of it. And it collapses on the ground, and the audience in the crowd starts booing. And then before long, everybody starts rejecting this whole thing, and there starts to be fighting going on. And Dazzler is seemingly on the side of the audience and the gameskeeper here. She starts blasting at Magma and Roberto, and they're left kind of wondering, wait, what is going on? You guys, you're supposed to just be singing here. You're not supposed to actually be fighting here. And it's all just kind of chaos on the floor of this gladiator arena. And amidst all of it, as is her way, Kitty Pryde decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break off a hunk of this robot and throw it at this gamekeeper in a very Katniss Everdeen kind of way here. So Matt, what are your thoughts on on what goes down here as far as the end of this big gladiator fight and your everybody's favorite pink robot here.
Well, I'm not going to mince any words. I was thrown off completely with Dazzler. It took me. I know very, very little about Dazzler, but I didn't think she was a villain, and so I went back and reread it. And was like, nope, she's clearly the bad guy in this panel, and that panel, and that panel, and so it's like, okay, maybe I missed something, but then yeah, it gets explained, But yeah, that was the thing that sort of hated me over all these couple of pages.
Sure. And I know JP
put up one of the 2 pages ago, I guess it was. There was our villain throws out the line, Charles Xavier rot his soul. And I think of you every time I've read that panel since. This is a villain that John can get behind. This is a guy that's on his list.
I have sympathy for the keeper of the games here and the master of the games. I think when we get into her reveal, I feel like I'll definitely have some sympathy for her for sure. I chose they have a cave troll gif here, JP. I don't know if I mean it for the giant robot or Dazzler, but you tell me. What are your thoughts here on the Kitty Pryde jumping to the rescue reveal and Dazzler turning on everybody?
I mean, it was clear in the previous pages that it was Kitty's powers that this thing was using. So it was Kitty inside. But I was a little confused because it felt like the psychic battle was going on between Kitty and our villain, but also felt like Kitty was supposedly psychically talking to, like, there's a couple of things where it's like she's almost psychically talking to Roberto and Amara, like, or they can hear her psychically, and it's like, wait, which maybe we'll get to who it might have been instead in a minute, but it was very, like, at this stage, I was, like, very confused. I'm like, how is Kitty talking to them psychically? Like what is going on? What am I missing here?
It's very fair. And Kitty even said, like, somebody even says, like, somebody's inside my head allowing me to talk to me. And so there is like a question mark. There are some things here at the beginning that we should be questioning, right?
Yeah. And then I thought I watched last week. I was very confused by Dazzler being the bad guy. I was like, did I miss something last week? When did Dazzler get, like, join the other team? I was like, maybe I missed it. But
so I had to explain this to somebody the other day who was, like, asking me about Dazzler and these issues. Yeah. So her legit backstory, I don't want to I'm gonna make sure I didn't ruin it. Has to do with her basically becoming the musical accompaniment to the gladiator arena when in this low point in her career. And there is some Feyre, a Court of Thorns and Roses crossovers here. There is some fairy wine elements here that I don't want to get too deep into, but she has been manipulated and drugged on top of needing the love of the audience that's been robbed of her because her career's in shambles right now.
Okay.
So take that however you wish. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate you, my friend.
I was a little confused by a couple of things that was going on here. I'm like, well, what is happening?
That's a low bar for this show.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But then the Kitty, like, picking up the piece and chucking it at our villain was like, yeah, that was completely like the Hunger Games, like, let's go. Like, shooting that board arrow at the judges that aren't paying attention,
And that's what I love about this sequence for me is it's like we've been so frustrated by the New Mutants and their, like, inability to solve any of these problems and all these things. And it takes one X-Men team member going up and like fighting back. And you're like, let's go.
So,
and then all of a sudden they start to mold together as a team and they start doing everything cohesive.
Right.
Based on that.
Yeah. So I do have one question here about the art. In addition to, like, the monster and stuff, is there a reason? I feel like through almost this whole book, like, he refuses to draw Kitty's face. She's, like, in shadow this whole book.
Oh, that's a good point.
Every time you see her, like on this page especially, but even later, like, you almost never see her face in this whole thing. It's always like she's in shadow. I found that odd.
I can make a hypothesis. Here's my thinking. Bill Sienkiewicz is not the fastest artist, and he takes some time. And my feeling is that he was on his way out with the team here at New Mutants, and this was his last storyline, and so he was rushing. So if you look, there's a ton of times when the villain is just 2 eyes and a smile and shadows. Kitty Pryde Roberto. There's a ton of this that's like underdrawn. And I think it's just get the book done, get it out, and move on to the next thing, because clearly they don't want me here anymore. That's the vibe I get from it.
No, that makes sense. I mean,
good point.
That's why they call her
our Bobby's right. It's just, then she's actually living up to the Shadow Cat name.
That was a faster answer. That's better. I was over on the Paul and the 619 channel watching their live stream, and Cliff jumped in. So it was nice seeing Cliff here as well. I appreciate you, buddy. And so she was drugged and tricked. This villainess that we're about to meet. Yeah, really turning up the heat on us. All right, well, let's see what happens when Kitty throws this little shrapnel piece at the villain. It breaks the, I guess, relaxing patio that the villainess was on and flies right past her head. And in all the excitement, here comes the rest of the team. We've got Cannonball, and he's bringing Ileana, and he's bringing Rachel Summers. Rachel, who has been, to JP's point, the psychic who's been coordinating all the telepathy for the team in this storyline. If you haven't been keeping up with this, good call. It all has to do with Secret Wars Volume 2. And this ties in a little bit to that. And that's how these partners sort of came into the whole story. And those of you that liked the late mid 80s X-Men, you'll know that, Dazzler and Rachel Summers play into that. So this is kind of when the teams are shuffling their participants at this point.
I will say that, like, for a moment, like when he first comes in and I see the red hair, I thought Rain, and I was like, wait, the psychic, what is going on? And then I was like, oh, it's Rachel. It took me a minute to realize that it was
a lot of redheads. A lot of redheads.
It was not the redhead that's normally on the New Mutants.
Yep.
And John, I hope one day soon you'll actually set aside some time to tell us how you feel about Secret Wars 2.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
we know
so-
your favorite. Are you going to dedicate like a whole
a Secret Wars 2?
Secret Wars 2?
All the tie-ins and the entire saga, Secret Wars 2. Yeah. Jackson Roy Crick says Secret Wars 2. After last week's episode, I secured a 9.6 of every issue. Well played, sir. Well played. Chaos gets unleashed here. Dazzler still is being manipulated by our villainess, blasts Kitty Pryde. Ileana decides she's going to get rid of some of these problem people by sucking them into limbo, including Dazzler. This, of course, really upsets both the crowd and Dazzler's homies, including Frankenlady and her friends. They rush out of the gladiator holding cells, I guess, into the arena to start a fight. Cannonballs just crashes into people. Magma's making, volcanoes and earthquakes and kicking guys in the nards. And everybody's just wrecking everything. It's all just going wild. And then all of a sudden, Dazzler gets thrown back into the fray because I think Ileana was hoping that going to limbo and coming back would break the psychic link that the villainess was holding on her. Hard to say for sure. But then the cops show up, and the cops are there to arrest people. And the rich people in the audience are like, wait a second, we signed up to watch people die, not to get in trouble. This is crazy. So everything seems to be falling apart here, JP. This is all just going sideways. How are you enjoying it as a reader?
Enjoying might be a strong word.
It is a strong word, yeah.
I mean, it's just very you guys talked a little bit about the previous two issues. This is at least coherent in the fact of it's okay, they're in this gladiator arena, they're battling this bad guy. Okay, it's fairly straightforward. But even within that concept, this is almost incoherent in terms of he's out of the robot, and then here comes the thing, and then Dazzler's in limbo, and then Dazzler's back, and Dazzler's good, and here come the cops, and it's and here comes this team of people that we really don't know that's we're going to save Dazzler. It's what is happening? It was just a kind of a cluster. I will say, I love that Ileana's oh, she's attacking us? Go to limbo and die. And then and Kitty's Ileana, I think that probably broke the control. You can bring her back. And Ileana's Well, if it didn't, then I'm sitting there forever.
Yeah, and Eliana's like, oh, that's why I sent her to limbo. I was just trying to kill her with some demons. Like, I didn't know that I was trying to break contact. Yeah. Loud noises. Yes. And Bobby, like, stop giving Marvel editorial bad ideas. We don't need it. Nobody needs that. That Secret Wars 2 omnibus is not forthcoming. Just be ready for it. Matt, what are your thoughts here on the chaos that is now ensuing?
Okay, so the first time I read this, it was for the storyline, and then the Omni X-Men, whatever seeps in your brain, really kicked in. And there's two things that stuck out to me through this entire issue. Okay. Ryan's already named one of them, with Sam obviously going to lose his shirt at some point. We know that's coming. Yeah. The other thing is got to be in the upper right-hand corner of that panel. Where did those sunglasses come from? They're not there before nor after or anything.
Yeah,
and have no clue. And then go to the sunglasses, like the panel right underneath it. Yeah. You've got Dazzler. While she's jumping, she found a coat or a full shirt and went to it. So I don't know.
I'm so glad
that the show has gotten me to focus on now. That the stories, whatever. Why can't the art just be sequential?
Yeah, I totally the coat and the glasses both got me, because I love how she's like her shoulders bare and this dress outfit thing. She comes out of limbo still in that, and then the very next panel, and she's like hunched over because she's all sad and stuff, and it's like she grabbed the coat and put it on, like, oh, I'm so ashamed of what I did. It's like, what is happening? Also, notice still no Kitty Pryde face.
I'm just look. I'm so proud right now. I'm feeling so much joy. There was so much of this in the last 3 issues. So many, like, why does she have a shirt and then not have a shirt? Why does she have sunglasses? Not have. I'm just proud of what this has become, and I'm feeling a lot of joy. Maybe that Omni Secret Wars 2 is on, Jackson. Maybe that's happening now. That could be a whole experience for everybody. I still don't understand Magneto's part in the previous issue. He shows up, tears the roof off, and lets the arena operators keep the rest of the mutants enslaved and fighting. Adam, you're not wrong. Blame it on the molecule man. Blame it on all of it is blamed on the molecule man. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna keep going because it's reveal time, folks. It's reveal time. Frankenstein is like, oh, you took my Dazzler, but she's okay. FYI, no shame for this lesbian relationship that is not being revealed right now, but is clearly evident in these few panels right here. Frankenlady runs away, but Dazzler's like, I can't go with you because I don't know that I'm ready for that part of my life yet. Meanwhile, Bobby and Magma have decided they are going to charge in and try to take out the master of the games. But the master of the games is not someone you take on easily. She starts controlling Bobby's mind. Now Bobby's punching Cannonball. Bobby is trying to fight Rachel. Rachel's like, no, I got to control you. And then I got to control you. And then she's like, no, wait, somebody's controlling me. Then Kitty Pryde's like, no, I'm going to punch you.
You mean the back of Kitty Pryde's head?
Yeah. Everybody's fighting everybody because the villain is not just your average villain. The villain is Karma. And for anybody who's confused, that makes total sense. Like, I get it, like 1,000%. This is one of our original New Mutants. This is a young lady from Vietnam who had joined the New Mutants. She was the original New Mutant in the graphic novel and in the early issues of this run. She was a New Mutant, and she died, quotes, air quotes, when a plane crashed over the ocean, and Xavier could not find her body. And we joked at the time, oh God, yeah, it's a comic character. She's going to return. She's been missing for, I would say, a year of the comic, maybe a little more. And in that time, apparently she's been well fed, gang, well fed. Like she when people say let her eat, they let her eat. They let her eat 1,000%. I was there. You were there. We were all there, Bobby. We were all there. Karma was an OG, clutched the pearls, gasp, all of us shocked. It has been years. Years have passed, and she was in the jungle, the mighty jungle. And lots of trauma occurred clearly in the intervening years. Xavier knew she survived, but could not find her. The team stunned because now they're having to face one of their own, a telepath, a powerful telepath, but an untrained telepath. Thankfully, that's what allowed Kitty Pryde to escape the armor. That's what allowed them each to kind of like fight off and do their best. And that's what allowed Rachel to kind of be a balance. Yeah, say it isn't so. Oh my Lord. Stars and garters. JP, did you remember this story, this plot line that the Claremont dropped 2 years prior? Do you remember any of this?
I read this and I was like, Karma.
I mean, you're always in our chat, man. You know these.
No, but I was like, Karma.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that name, but that's not. I don't remember this character. Like I did not. It took. Like I read the whole book. I got to the end, and then she's like, "I was part of the team." I'm like, when was this girl part of the team? Like, even though I remembered Karma being a part of the team, I could not connect the two of them as I was reading this book.
It's fair.
The design is so like, I was like, wait, and like it took me, like I went back and I was like, wait, is that the same? That can't be right. And like, so yes, I was super confused because even though I was thinking, no, the others must have been a different name. I have the names wrong. Like, and then they're like, oh wait, she was a member of us. I'm like, do I not remember the design? What is the deal?
Yeah. It's a totally, it would be easy to be confused. Not only because she was in the time when she was a New Mutant. You could count the time she was called Karma on probably one hand.
Yeah.
Like it was very rare for her to be called Karma. She was usually just called by her Korean name, and I'm struggling to remember it, and I'm sorry that I'm not remembering it right now. And of course, she looked like at 1/10 the size.
Yeah.
and probably like 1/4 this age.
Well, yeah, she looks super old here. She doesn't look like a teenager. And
this is where I thought, I'm following the breadcrumbs, figuring out who it is, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, by the end of this issue, she's going to come out of this disguise. So she is clearly in some disguise, or she's using some type of ability to mask, what her real look is, and it just never happened.
Keep hoping for that, Matt. Keep hoping. I like that hope. So Matt, what were your thoughts on the reveal? How were you feeling about this? Did you remember back? Could you connect these dots that were so far separated?
Only because I didn't wait 2 years, between the issues. It was had I not been watching the show, I would have never been able to put one and one together. So I did figure it out as we got to the end. I was like, oh, okay, and that's where I immediately went to, it's a disguise. That's who this is. So. Because Kitty just clearly came out of a giant robot hull or whatever.
Which makes just as much sense. Yeah. Jackson Roy Kirk with the comment of the night. He says, follow the breadcrumbs because they're all on her face. There's a lot of carbs. She's eating a lot of carbs. Yeah. And I legitimately.
Karma, maybe.
So I'm a fan of her first appearance, which is in a Marvel team-up book, and I'm a fan of that book because it's the first time you see Storm and T'Challa meet. That book is actually a key for Storm. But then she's also, her second appearance is in the graphic novel, and then on and on and on. I remembered this plot line, so I was aware of it. I just have no memory of where it goes from here, and I may just have blocked it out. Like I blocked out the Jenny Craig years or whatever comes after this that leads her back to a different appearance than this. So I am mildly curious to kind of see where it goes after this. But I did find the reveal entertaining, if nothing else. And lots of shock. She didn't go through limbo. No, limbo doesn't do this. Limbo doesn't cause this.
Because she doesn't look like this, like in recent,
no,
later, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I was confused. I'm like, this can't be the same character that I'm thinking of. It was
you're thinking of Kramer, he says. There it is. Yeah, her first name is Jan. Yeah, Jan.
Okay.
Yeah, I just Candace says she likes Matt's version better. Matt, obviously, he knows it. He likes to make stuff up, but he actually does know the truth of where this is all going. Keep it to yourself, Adam. Keep it to yourself. But let's see what happens next. We had the shocking reveal that she is still alive. Karma is still there, and everybody's like, "What the heck?" And then, of course, more shocking. We can't show you their faces drawings as everybody argues with her, and she says, "Oh, Xavier knew all along. He left me to die." And then they're like, Kitty Pryde knew about it. Kitty Pryde's like, don't blame me. I just found out when they brainwashed me and put me in a giant robot. I knew 10 minutes before you guys. Why are you all mad at me? And then Karma's like, it doesn't matter because I have slaves and I'll kill them if you don't back off. And they're like, wait, why do we care about these slaves? You're going to kill a lot of other people. And they're like, she doesn't care. She just basically jumps into her jet and flies in 6 or 7 loop-de-loops, just laughing like the Joker as she goes off into the distance. One of the craziest pink panels, that giant like fuchsia panel in the middle is wild, gang. I was like, is this a Batman comic? The Joker flies planes like that. I don't know what's going on. The team is left in shambles. The cops are showing up. They're arresting all the rich folks. And the team is like, look, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't trust anybody. Dazzler's got no jacket again. She had a jacket a little bit ago. She left it somewhere.
I want to jump in and say somehow when we flip the page, she lost her overshirt. And as we progress across, Sam is losing his shirt. He's in the process of losing it in the middle. And now it's gone. And then we're going to escalate it when we turn the page. Spoiler alert. And now he's lost his pants too.
How shambles.
This is the Omni X-Men glasses that I wear now. It's stories be damned. It is all about the art.
Well, and Kitty Pryde's now got like a satchel, like a sash.
Oh, true.
That seems to be made of the same jacket that Dazzler can't keep track of anymore. Everybody is emotionally wrecked and raw.
Like in the top panel, Kitty doesn't have the hat, and then she has the hat, and then we do finally see her face with like the least detail I've ever seen drawn on Kitty Pryde's face in that bottom panel.
Yeah, consistency. She gone.
Candace is so right.
Yeah.
And then I realize it's a little bit of Bill's style, but what is going on with Sam's forehead in the panel on the far?
Oh my god!
It looks just like a Franken monster
for me. Like
I mentioned last time that Sam starts to remind me of Guile from Street Fighter, and it just seems to get worse. Like every time I see him, he give him some camo pants, and the guy is straight out of Street Fighter. Let him start destroying a car on the wharf.
And then what is going on with Roberto in the panel above when he's like punching the tree? What is on his shoulders? Like
he's still wearing the armor from the Gladiator. He's got it right here. You can kind of see it.
Okay, I didn't realize
he had like football shoulder pads made of metal.
It was just weird
as his Gladiator thing. He wanted that Legion look. He wanted stretch my forehead, give me the pointy hair. It's hot right now. Well, I mean, So, I mean, anybody have thought, Matt, do you have any thoughts on the drama the characters are dealing with, the emotional wreckage that is the New Mutants team when they find out their original team member is alive and turned into the matchmaker from Mulan?
I can't get away from the art. I guess the story I don't have a lot of opinion on their feelings. It's just
totally understandable.
I guess the entertainment has been in the art so much.
JP, how about you, man? Where are you at in this circus?
Like it's just a little bit odd, like how she gets away here. Like she's not even close to the jet. There's not really that many like people. It's just like she just gets away, and then like they're yelling at Kitty, but then Kitty's trying to Kitty's trying to deal with the Dazzler thing and basically ignoring it. Like, hey, I just found out 5 minutes ago. Dazzler, come here. He's trying to
I'm
help.
surprised that they wasted like 4 panels on blaming Kitty Pryde for not giving away the secret. When like Kitty Pryde, she's been like brainwashed with this information for all of like 7 panels. Like, why are we putting the blame on Kitty Pryde?
Yeah.
Where's our Xavier blame?
Yeah, no blame to her. Well, they've never liked Kitty because she's an X-Men and not. So they look for any excuse to blame her,
Fair.
like for anything.
I agree with that.
Yep, fair.
Because she gets to be an X-Men and they're just new mutants.
Yeah.
So.
Something about this reveal made me go to Ace Ventura, and I've been thinking about Ace Ventura all day and the Einhorn Finkel storyline. Like, this felt very much Einhorn Finkel to me. So if you guys are Ace Ventura fans, hopefully this GIF cracks you up a little bit. If not, go watch Ace Ventura, because I tell you that's way better than these 3 issues.
But I want to come back to the art. One other thing that stuck out to me is they're like at this. They come out of the thing, the arena. They're chasing Karma, and suddenly they're on an airstrip. Like they're on a thing where there's an airplane. Like this open spot, and then by the time you get to the final panels, they're like in a jungle. There's like trees. Roberto's fighting a jungle. It's like, what the heck is happening? Like, where are they teleporting between panels? What is happening?
I don't know.
Stopping them to new locations, and we just don't get to see it. Are we missing the maps? What is happening?
I'm just gonna say I don't know what the trivia question is gonna be a week from now, but it will be something about this comment that JP is making right now. So the 9 people watching live right now, or the people watching on the replay, just know the 2 people on this panel who will be in the chat answering something about this is gonna. Yes, we were at Staples Center, then we jumped to LAX. And now we're in a rainforest. All of it in one little corner of Los Angeles where this is taking place. That is a phenomenal pull that I would never have noticed. And I'm so epically happy about it that I will guarantee there will be a question about this next week. I don't know what it'll be. Just buckle up. Settings is going to be playing into that. Is fan freaking tastic.
Yeah, LA development is clearly accelerated in the time since the book was written.
Right? You got a gladiator arena and an airport and a tropical rainforest, and it's all happening, Adam.
Because that ain't a little jet. Because like you look at her, but in the back, how many windows are in the back of that jet behind the wing? That's a giant jet.
It needs a real runway, runway. And Sam needs a shirt, and Natalie needs a nightie. Okay, there you go. Fair. Well, let's continue to the last little bit here because we get a couple of character. So that was the end of the story, gang. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Though, like,
was there?
Yeah, there's a page where they're all like where they're gonna leave and like go after her.
Did I forget a page?
I have to ask, like, what the heck is going on with the art on that page? Like, Matt just bring Matt big because he just had it and he was showing.
Oh, sorry. Let me blow Matt up here.
Like, so like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's this last page, and like Sam's like down to his shorts at this point. Like
he's wearing his chonies.
Suddenly, Ileana is in like gladiator wear too, and then Rain and Danny, who weren't even there, are in are like behind them, like in smoke. And I was like, what the heck is happening here?
They're all in Scotland, as I recall.
Like, are they being teleported somewhere? Because they're leaving, and there's like the stream going up, and Kitty's like, "Okay, good luck."
My only takeaway from all of this is that I need to get an ElfQuest omnibus.
I mean,
that's.
I did not understand that page. Like that page, I understood the least. All the art comments. Yeah, that page I understood the least.
Apologies. I'm actually going to throw that into the lap of our other co-host, who is, I don't know if he's still in the chat because he was here 3 minutes ago. He made the slideshow for me. I apologize for not like going through it with a fine tooth comb. I just threw in, I just threw in the gifts. You can thank me for Ace Ventura. That's about all. I almost went all Jim Carrey tonight. It felt very Ace Ventura this episode. But thank you, yes, Matt, for having that at the ready. I appreciate you doing that. Omni Snarf Quest. There you go. I'm way more down for that than you even know, Adam. So this kind of leaves off the idea that like the New Mutants, it's a new generation, it's a new journey, because obviously I think at this point Marvel was like, we need a new artist, and we know that Leah Loa is waiting in the wings coming in with the next storyline here, and that's how we're going to finish this out. I'm on meds, things happen. Yes, I get it, I'm not blaming you, buddy, except I did throw your name.
It's fine. And then
I threw you under the bus.
Got in the bus and got in and made it back up and then pulled forward again. It's fine.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, so that's how this issue ends, as the team is kind of in shambles trying to think it out. And then they give us two more of these character profiles. We get two of the characters from the Hellfire Club and their school. We have Empath here, the mutant who seems to manipulate emotions. And then we've got Cat's Eye, the character who can turn into this sort of cat wolf thing. So a couple of more of these character profiles that they've been doing, I would say, inconsistently in the New Mutants issues. You do have a few in here that have none, and then you have others that like this that have two. So I guess, yeah, we're here at the 1 hour mark. I guess it's time to give our scores. And JP, you get the honor of going first.
You go first?
Now you know what it is to be No Good Comics on my channel.
I gotta go first.
If you were going to give this book a CGC grade, obviously we were nearing the negatives for the first time ever on this entire 5-year show last time. How you feeling about this third issue in the storyline?
So I think this is, despite all our comments about it being, it is more cohesive than the previous two in terms of what it's telling. Even though it does jump around, like the background and the setting jumps around a little bit, it is more cohesive. The art is the art. I mean, and like Sienkiewicz mailed this sucker in, I feel like, for sure. The whole karma reveal was very weird, the way it was handled. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. So I'm going to be like 4.5, somewhere in there. Like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, I could at least follow what was happening for the most part. So it was like, but it was not something that I would be like, oh, I want to read that again. It's just like, okay. I mean, it was.
And shout out to Bobby for dropping his vote in the chat. You all can leave your votes, and No Good Comics, damn it. I'm expecting a number from you, sir. You do not get to back out of this. I want a number in the chat, and I want it ASAP.
I actually go with a 3.5. Maybe I was a little high with a 4.5. Maybe it's 4.45. Maybe somewhere in there instead of the 5.0. Yeah.
All right. But Bobby is always in love. He's saying 9.6 for the pinups. I don't know how you feel, Matt, about these pinups, if they're worth a 9.6 to you. But where did you come out on this single issue?
All right, so I'm going to take Candace's advice. The one say nice things. This book was as good as the previous 2 issues combined. So there is that. I've got it at a 4.5 to a 5.0 is what I've had written down, and it's pretty much stayed the same.
Fair. And I legitimately, I think I wrote down in my notes 4 or 5. So I'm right in the same neighborhood as you guys. But by comparison to the previous 2 issues, a massive improvement, right? But because it had all the story, whereas the other issues were just a mess, this had like actual direction and plot and story. Yeah. It was still a mess, but it at least had those elements.
And can I come clean with you about one other thing? Whenever I have read it and I've put it back in the cabinet over the last couple of weeks, the last thing I do is pull up the 3 Demon Bear books and cleanse my palate.
There
you go.
And put it back in, and I close the drawer, and that takes me back.
So, I like that.
There was good.
I've been reading Fourth Wing in between, so that was my palate cleanser.
That'll cleanse the palate.
Is Smut has been my read. That's been my solution. Cricket. First, I love that Noga just wrote crickets. I love that. That's hilarious. Jackson Roy Kirk it's an uptick from the last 2, but still 3.5 is his grade, and he agrees. And then No Good Copy.
But then see what Justin put his next comment was.
Copy and pasted. There it is. I did not. I did not see an Adam or Candace score, but they can certainly drop their grades and see how they feel about this issue. But we're going to jump into the numbers. Let's see how many people have a 9.8 of this book. There are 56, gang. 56.
Are they all on eBay for sale, waiting for new owners?
56?
They're all expecting $55 for that book in a 9.6.
There's 56 people that are trying to get a 9.8 of the entire New Mutants run.
I mean,
because that's the only reason to have a 9.8 of this book. Is we're trying
that's
to get
what I'm hearing. This it's a rumor at best, but it's what I'm hearing.
I mean,
yeah. So 56 copies, $55 as an average score for that book. There are 17 9.6s, which feels even sadder. Those go for $30, and then it's a continuing like travesty.
That too. The poor soul.
Anybody have any thoughts about that, or what they would pay for a 9.8 of this book? Crickets.
Pay? How much are you paying me? Like, because if they gave me $55 to take this book at a 9.8, I would probably still say no.
Fair.
I mean, I guess the advantage of getting it in a 9.8 is you can't read it.
That's fair also. Yeah. Yeah. It's sealed forever away from your greedy fingers. He says there's 8 9.8s available on Evil Bay right now.
Friday coming.
Adam says he's in that 4 to 5 range. Candace is like 3.0. I ain't even going to 3.5 on this, but I had fun in the chat. And here's the thing, Candace. That's part of the fun of this show is going back and being able to read these and have a laugh and know that these are 50-year-old books, but we can still get a little bit of joy and silliness out of them. And it's a first appearance of Kramer. So all of that I think is worth at least the shenanigans, right? The shenanigans make it fun. Shared grief is grief lesson.
Like 40-year-old, not 50, 40-year-old book.
Is it a 40-year-old? Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds more accurate. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle, but we'll let it go. Yeah. I like this issue more now that with the show's help. If I ever read it again, I will remember this night fondly. Thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. You can have the 9.8s for a glass of chocolate milk.
Hey, Stevie, it's funny. I actually just finished my glass of chocolate milk before I went on with John.
Hey, there you go. I was definitely hitting liquor tonight, but that's just me. So as Justin says here, sorry, this is the return of karma. You can call it that if you want. I don't know.
But I'm gonna
stop sharing that. I want to answer a question for Conlon. Yeah, it is, because on Friday night, the Court of Beards and Bourbon is getting together to talk Fourth Wing. So if you need fantasy dragon smut in your life, brother, I got you all day. This is the next journey that John has been on. This is the 2024-25 John's Comics with Inappropriate Books journey that I've been on. So yeah, be there Friday night and you'll see some community members reading books. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, be there for that because it's a whole lot of fun. I think it should be some laughs. That is the book club that we're doing right now. Yeah. Read it right now. Get that fourth. I could have read it in a day if I, didn't have a job. So here we are, gang. Yeah.
You're at your priorities.
I mean, I don't know that they're the right priorities, but they're the priorities. The first rule of book club is we don't talk about book club. Yeah. So now we are to the trivia portion. I have culled together. I went back and rewatched last week's episode, and I'll be telling you, gang, the truth is I did not get very far in that. I couldn't get too far. So most of my questions are really in the first hour of that episode. But I got 4 trivia questions for you. Justin, be danged, he is not getting a chance to get on this list unless his answer is so funny that Matt says he deserves a point, and then Justin can gift it to somebody in the chat because
Well,
he's not getting
it, I can't answer tonight. I should get any points Justin gets.
You can still answer comedy answers in the chat. I'll accept your comedy, JP, all night long, but I'm not giving you extra time like to get a correct answer. That's not going to happen.
I'm going to need somebody else. I guess maybe Justin could take my place of copy and pasting Magic Lasso.
There you go. Fair.
That's been my job.
All right. So my first question is, and you know what the funny thing is about almost all these questions were answered tonight in our discussion, but let's just go with it. When we first see Sam Guthrie's cannonball in the airport, in what way did we all feel like he is totally in character? In what way do we feel like Sam is exactly the way Sam usually is? And thank you for Jackson Roy Kirk for dropping the starting line. We look for 2 correct answers and 1 fantastically incorrect answer. Already got the correct answers. Conlon in the chat, he was shirtless, and Adam says no shirt. He was also out of control. Fair. That's the first comedy answer. He was wearing a Lila Cheney shirt. That's fair. He was moving in a straight line. That's how he's in character. Yeah. He's not an ambi turner like Zulu.
He cannot turn.
He cannot turn. He was petting Rain. No heavy petting in that relationship. All leather all the time, says Conlon. Shirtless and shameless. That's gonna be. I feel like I want to see the Cannonball : shirtless and shameless. Like I want that mini series. That would be amazing. He was wearing a cowl. He was wearing a cowboy hat. No, I think there was some copying and pasting that happened there. No shirt, Sherlock. Oh, that's funny, Adam. His cannonballs were on fire, says Lasso. All right, where are we at, Matt? Do you have a favorite comedy answer? He was making out with Lila.
I'm gonna go with Adam. The no shirt Sherlock. That was
no shirt Sherlock.
Sneaky good and sort of crept up on you.
He makes stuff up, but he also gets correct answers. So there you go. I love it that we've so far blocked out no good comics. Keep him in the chat, not on the panel. That's what we need to do. All right. Question number 2. How does Illyana intimidate the minion that she captures? She captures somebody at the airport, sends them down to limbo, and then intimidates them. How does Illyana intimidate this minion that they capture at the airport in a most ridiculous fashion? How does Illyana Rasputin magic? How does she intimidate people? She sends them bad CGC grades. That makes me sweat. I don't know, no, Justin. That makes me just sweat. Just hearing that makes me sweat. You got to pre-screen. You got to pre-screen that. And the correct answer is Adam. Introduce him to sin. Oh, it's misspelled. I'm going to throw that to. I'm going to make JP useful here. Is that misspelled? And is that at a level of Chet, or is that an acceptable level for you?
I mean, it's not Chet, so it's fine.
Points to Adam makes stuff up.
I mean, if it was Chet, no, that would not work. But...
And point to Magic Lasso. Adam, I think you had enough time to get it in twice because you wrote "uh-oh" instead of actually writing the answer again a second time. Could have actually written. Nobody else has written the answer correctly. People have written laughing out loud or laughing my A off and not written the correct answer. Nobody has written the correct answer a second time.
Other than Lasso. So of course it's Adam.
So that's kind of shocking to me. Adam is still the most correct answer.
I know my comedy answer already, but...
And they're just writing the words. You can't just write somebody's name. That's not what I was asking. That's not the answer to the question. But I'm going to still give it because JP says we're giving this the correct response. So comedy answers. Let's get into some comedy answers. We had the CGC joke. We have Candace saying she told them that she's getting Gru. I'm assuming this means from Despicable Me. I don't know. She beats them at Chutes and Ladders, says JP. She sends them fake 9/8s. You're on a CGC roll tonight, Justin. I don't know that's I don't get that. What are you doing? has the demon interrogate them. All right, I get it. She checks his Google history.
That was my second choice. If I was making the choice. That's my first choice.
Makes him read this comic book. Hot diggity dog. Now, this is a correct answer. She introduces him to Grimace, according to Greg. That was Grimace. Sim. She showed off her Transformers collection.
Justin's trying to pander now.
Reads the last 2 issues on repeat. Bearded Comic Bro. Oh no, I missed tonight. What happened to our gladiators? Can you guys start over?
Greg, I tried to get John.
Just a few minutes, Greg. You can go back and watch it from the beginning.
Yep. Here's what I'm going to do.
Stop and wait for you.
This answer is so accurate. I'm giving Bearded Comic Bro a point on. He has 2 answers on here. That's his 3rd point. I'm just giving him a point for that. He said Matt won't press his books unless he talks. All right. Have you seen? Yeah, he's still looking for his voice, Greg. If you find his voice, let him know. All right. So Matt, what is your favorite comedy answer?
Jackson Roy Kirk for me.
Jackson Roy Kirk. I'm going to scroll back up and see if I can find it. She makes him read this issue. There it is. Yeah. Jackson Roy Kirk coming in hot.
My choice as well. That's
fair point. Your voice is probably in the same place as Sam's shirt.
Justin's never getting it back.
Another point for that one.
That's another point for that one. Yes, Greg. Greg coming in hot, coming in strong. All right, still 2 more questions to ask, gang. First up, we got what is it? We talked about how poor Dazzler is in a really low point right now. But what is it that ruined Dazzler's career? What ruined Dazzler's music career? You can take this in a lot of directions, folks. What ruined her career? I mean, I'm going to drink a little bit more. Finish my Guinness, my pint, or whatever. It's done. All right, what else ruined it? Cobra. You have to draw the A out a bunch if you're doing a G.I. Joe joke. I know you've been reading a lot of Transformers and G.I. Joe. You're an Energon man now.
He's finally coming around.
Correct answer. She was outed as a mutant. And I'm gonna give it to Greg. She was outed, even though he doesn't tell us what she was outed for. It's close enough. Drugs. It's always drugs. That's fair. She came out in the mutant movie. There was a mutant movie? I can you see that? She didn't have your love. That ruined her career.
She doesn't have your love, Lasso. Lasso's turned his back on Dazzler? Oh my gosh.
What ruined her career, though, was actually being in these last 3.
That's going to be the answer. I mean, there's 2 good ones, but Candace all over it. That's it.
I'm giving Candace a point now, but we'll just keep reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over.
Boy George ruined her career. Scott Snyder, he ruins a lot of careers. I'm just going to say he doesn't get enough credit for that. Ugh, I hate that I know the correct answer to this.
One of us.
Reading that Diana Ross has it, and she never will.
Man, Lasso's tearing Dazzler a new one.
It's possible Candace had the 2 best answers here. Secret Wars 2 also ruined her career.
Yeah.
I mean, also not wrong.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Her guest appearance on the OC. Adam, for shame. For shame. That is quality television, sir.
I think I don't know where he's going to go, but if he goes with Candace, I think Candace deserves 2 points for those 2 answers.
What is your thought here, Matt?
Yeah, I'm seconding that. It's definitely Candace. All right. Give her 2.
I gave her 1. You gave her 1. There we go. 2 points going to Candace. This is what happens when John has 2 different drinks he's drinking in one night. Candace gets all the points.
John just handed out points like crazy.
I'm just there now. That's where I'm at. I'm just glad that we're done with this story and that Steve Lealoa will be leading us to the promised land in the next few stories. So there we go, Candace. Candace, be ready for the fact that you get at least Steve Lealoa coming up for her. All right, last question. The last question I kind of hinted at in tonight's show. How do the villains get Dazzler to perform at the highest level in the midst of their gladiator arena? How do they accomplish this feat? What is it they do to make Dazzler perform at this amazing event. How do they accomplish this? And that is literally the correct answer that I wrote down. They give her fairy wine.
Look at Greg just knocking it out of the park since he came in.
I mean, they spiked her chocolate milk. I'm giving Conlon the second correct answer, even though JP is not wrong. But drugs is also correct.
The fairy wine is good.
We do not accept sports answers on the John's Comics with Kids YouTube channel, so you just need to keep walking. You just keep walking. They asked Sam to take off his shirt. There's no ask. Yeah, that's
never been asked yet. It just
no one wants that. It just happens.
I love how Bobby and and Conlon have the exact same answer back to back on my screen. That it is the Tamlin juice. It is the Tamlin juice. All right, Matt. Any answers that really struck a chord for you?
Part of me wants to reward Justin for pandering a little bit, but I think I'm going to go with a chocolate milk answer with Candace.
Yes, there it is. No points for Justin. He can sit in our chat and come out like Chet at the other end.
Nothing. No points for you.
Your sandwich came way too late. How dare you? 0. You get nothing. And you'll like it.
And I can't believe that the thing that I'm looking forward to most going for the next several issues is does Sam remain shirtless? New artist? Does it keep happening? So
that's the bigger question is, how does John make a trivia question out of the fact that they had like all these crazy settings in that final page of this new Mutants issue? I don't know how I make a trivia question out of that, but we'll figure it out backstage.
I just want to say I need to apologize to John and everyone in the chat and Matt that I played the role of Justin tonight, and we're wrapping up in under an hour and 30 minutes. I am a failure. I failed. I did not stretch the way I should have.
I think it just goes to show the power of the host when it comes to this program. Justin is what Justin does, and we just kind of like ride the rap when he hosts. It's just we don't know.
JP will throw it out. So last week, how long was last week? I know it was just over 2 hours.
It was closing in on 2.5.
Okay, so 2.5. Okay, never mind. I was going to give us some good props because I was thinking it was down closer to 2, and we were at an hour and a half on just 1. But yeah, never mind.
Is Justin's job on the line?
I mean, the show would be tighter with me as the co-host than it would be with Justin, but it doesn't mean it would be better. So.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Candace, expect a 2.5 hour. Actually, we don't know, Candace. I might be hosting 3 times in a row. You don't know what you're going to get. We're rolling all the dice. All the things are happening at some point. Yeah, bring your coffee. Bring all of it. But firstly, let's thank Matt from Impressed Comics. His links are all down below. If you need books to get pressed, if you're looking at a CGC submission, you want to do some things, this is the man to talk to. I got his Instagram link. I got his YouTube link. You can see his videos that he does. Matt, I gotta say, like, I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'm cruising through YouTube, and I'm of an age where this is my retirement plan, is to just cruise YouTube in my retirement. I find Impressed, what was formerly Matt and Clemson, all through the YouTube verse. I feel like you, sir, are an epic channel supporter, and I always feel like I'm in the right place when I see your name in the chat.
Well, I can tell you, when I first got started back into this, I stumbled on through Brandon at Mon Comics, then I found Justin, and then obviously now that led me to this channel. Well, they don't have channels that, are pay channels or anything like that, and you were the first that I'd found, and still are currently the only channel that I actually pay and actually support. And there's a reason. You said something one time, sometime last year, that it costs 1 comic book a month to support the channel. And I thought, well, dang, I have watched 40 of his videos right now. Why in the heck would I not ditch this comic that I'm going to get rid of anyway? Wow. And let's go ahead and do this. But so just there's so many good people out there. There's so many bad people out there. There's so much things out there that's a complete waste of time for me personally. But the things that I like, I want to support in every way possible. I want to be there for every chat, every live show, everything. It killed me not to get onto your 3,000 subscriber thing the other night. I was at my in-laws' house in Orlando in a tiny little bedroom with my wife trying to go to sleep next to me, and I'm giggling like a 12-year-old at all the things going on. And so I couldn't get in, but yeah, that's a no-brainer for me being around you guys.
Thank you, Matt. That's the nicest thing I've heard in a long time. And I got 3 kids, 2 kids and a wife, and nobody's talking to me like that. So that I appreciate that in a big way, man. That is amazing. Wow. Here I was trying to make stupid jokes, and you're actually like upgrading the quality of this program. I don't know how to handle that. And then there's this guy. I didn't even put his links in the chat. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't even want anybody to know he was guest hosting tonight. And then Justin posted it on Instagram, and I had to redact it all in my own Instagram post.
That was a good post, John. That was impressive.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the no one was supposed to know I was here, but Justin, he put it. It
was a little bit of comedy, a little bit of fun. And the truth is, I'm on his channel tomorrow night. So I was joking before we went live. One of the things that really got me back into comics as an adult was Vertigo and this amazing publisher and some of the books that they were putting out that were unlike anything I'd ever read before. And like 100 Bullets is one of them. And I forced JP to read all of Fables, which was another one that was in that same era, which is way longer than 100 Bullets. So I'm on JP's channel tomorrow night. We're talking about the final installment of 100 Bullets. We're finishing it out. We will let you know all the deep thoughts because JP and our partner in crime on this, Daymare's Comics, never read this before. I'm the only one reading this through for, I think it's my 4th time reading it. I'm excited to get into it, to talk to them about it, but I appreciate JP for, I think I texted him Sunday night saying, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" It's possible. It's possible you're doing something Tuesday night now. So huge thank you, JP, for doing this, because obviously you did not need to say yes, but I know Justin appreciates it as well, that you subbed in, not only for like, it wasn't like we were bringing you like a grade A banger storyline here. We were definitely
this just means that
throwing
I get
you to the wolves.
Choice of what issue I want next season. I get first choice. That's what this means.
I think the best we can offer you is second because one of the things we raffle off is the first pick.
Oh, okay. I was going to give it to Greg.
You might get second pick. We're not giving Greg. We always give Greg the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, you give Greg the worst issue.
That's an ongoing requirement. Is that Greg has to choose something that nobody else would choose in their right mind.
They do not want to make Greg an X-Men fan. They give him the worst.
I want Greg to be like coming out of this series going like, I never want to see another book with Wolverine in it ever again. Like if I see that guy, I'm walking. This is a hot item. We are absolutely always. That's one of our first raffles. Is like you get to pick the first book that you want to read next season. So I mean, I'm out of here. It's an hour and a half. We're on. I don't even know what channel we'll be on next week. It was supposed to be me. I might do 3 in a row. We'll see if this guy is how he's feeling. Everybody send him cough drops, lozenges, whatever. Send him mom's recipe to use lemon juice and cayenne and I don't know, all the stuff. Send him all the stuff.
And Justin just says, just send him whiskey. That's all I need. Just send it.
I mean, that's a great remedy as well. I'm all in on that.
I don't know if I'm on the voice, but it's a great remedy.
I'm going to make Justin do some work for the first time tonight. He's going to drop JP's link because I'm going to be on JP's channel tomorrow night.
Is he capable?
He can do it. I believe that he can find JP's link and drop it probably faster than the Bearded Comic Bro or JP could drop it. They all have
nobody wants a link.
Drop that link because people should subscribe. That I'm going to be over on JP's channel tomorrow night. We're going to be talking 100 Bullets. And then Friday night, I'm hosting a Fourth Wing discussion, as we previously mentioned. So we'll have some fun bourbon and smut discussions going on the channel. This is the new era that I'm in, the Bat Boys era. God dang it, I washed it and it's sitting in the dryer down the drying rack. Sorry, what are you gonna do? Unbelievable. There it is. He beat everybody. There's
Justin in the time.
there it is.
I love it.
Fastest fingers in the chat. He even beat Christina.
You know
I don't
what
even
link
know
that is,
Christina.
right, John? Look at the link.
Oh crap. he dropped his own link. He dropped his own.
Smart.
That's a move.
I
So
love it. That's perfect.
that's the move.
Go with
John,
it.
was it you that did that to him?
I did that all through his 1,000 subscriber show. Oh my gosh.
That's perfect.
I'm sweating. That is such a great move. There it is. You nailed it. You nailed it, buddy.
Madison,
I'm
he did
so
it to
proud.
me, not to John.
This episode is full of pride for me. I'm just so proud. All right, gang. We're gonna get out of here. We treated you to enough shenanigans for one night. We will see you guys all again next week. I don't know where, but if you hit the notification bells on all the channels, you'll get it. You'll hear it.
It's gonna be on my channel next week.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, JP. We'll see you guys again later.